2 hours has gone by and we are gonna remove the bear paw from the pot and see how it looks. Oh, it looks nuts. Looking at this thing now without the hair, it looks even more terrifying.
In this full-on food marathon, I've journeyed all the way to Japan to take on this country's most extreme foods.
If we were showing this in a traditional Japanese film, we would have to do this to it.
This island nation of 125 million is a food lover's paradise, a place where committed chefs and food experts push the limits of culinary possibility.
What?
From nigiri, 100 times bigger than you've ever seen before.
How do I do this?
To exotic ingredients I never expected to find in Japan.
We have a lot to get to today, but let me tell you, this video is going to be challenging for me as a consumer, but also for you as a viewer. So I need you to hang in there. Stay with me through this. Don't make me do this alone.
But before all that, we're taking on sushi. From the very affordable,
What's that?
all the way to a sushi experience that costs more than $6,000. Let's move.
We have arrived at our first location, Kura Sushi. Here, they have conveyor belt sushi. Basically, you sit down and you wait for the sushi to come to you. Yes, you can order if you want to, but the fun of it is kind of seeing what pops up and what rolls by as you're sitting in place. This is our cheapest location of the day. Let's go find out how cheap it really is. Right now, I'm here with the PR manager. Sir, put her there. I'm very excited to be here because I love conveyor belt sushi. Do you want to explain a little bit about how this place works?
基本的に、
From the point you step foot into this store, everything is self-service. And that's why at Kurazushi, something that's considered so expensive, like sushi, can be really affordable.
Kura Sushi, we hate paying for health insurance. Is that your motto? No, I love it because humans, they cost a lot of money, but what doesn't cost a lot of money is automation. Let's talk about price. What is your cheapest plate of sushi?
いくつかありますが、特にその中でも
The one he recommends is tuna, 150 yen.
So 150 yen for 2 nigiri, translated to USD, that's $1.01. Oh my God. So for like basically $10.10, you could be getting 20 pieces of nigiri. That's a great deal. I'm very excited. Thank you for the information. Next, I'm gonna sit down and eat. Quickly approaching is our most affordable sushi of the day. I believe this is tuna. Boom. Give it a push, pull it out, and free it from its plastic prison. Everything here is driven by the fact that they don't want anyone to have to talk to you the whole time you're here. Oh, can I get some soy sauce? No, it's right here in a squeeze bottle. Oh, can I have a beer? I want to get drunk. Boom, right here. Draft beer, order, confirming order, done. What? I love it. Now you can see they've already put this tuna in some sort of flavorful sauce, but just in case I want to add some soy sauce, give it a couple of dabs. Oh, it's so good. High quality soy sauce. Oh, that's my drink. I ordered a beer, but I also ordered a ginger cider because I'm not really gonna drink the beer. I want to look tough on camera, I'm sorry. Ooh, ginger. Where were we? The big difference in being in Japan is the sushi rice. It has some kind of soury sweetness to it. And then the fish itself, it's got a little bit of sweetness to it. And then of course I've added some saltiness with the soy sauce. Now I want to see what else this place has because they have some very unique items, including this. That is natto. It's like a fermented soybean. Here's the thing, when you're done with your plate, you put it into the plate receptacle like so. Where'd it go? No idea. This franchise has dozens of locations in the USA, and I forgot that I've actually been to one of them. But the menu is completely different, and that's because the palate of Americans is all fracked up. But then you come here and you get to try the real cool stuff like this, natto. Not for everybody. A nice rice base, crispy seaweed, and then just absolutely slimy, gooey natto. It's a little bit nutty in flavor, but a mild taste overall. It's all about that funky texture. So from here, I'm about to pile up on these plates. It's time for serious business. All right, folks, we have another round of random plates that appeared before me. Let's go one by one. This one here is a chicken egg. We've got some green onion, and then I'm just told a bunch of different seafood here. I'm gonna throw some soy sauce on there. Oh, it's spicy. It tastes like Korean gochujang, and the egg is imperceptible. It kind of just faded away into the background behind that spice, but a very nice... Someone else getting beer. It's only 11:36. Nice. Moving on to our next dish. Right here, a little bit of pork. It looks like a thin strip of bacon with sauce on it that's been put on some rice. Fatty roasted pork draped with almost just a sweet, savory teriyaki sauce. It's an excellent experience. Here, beef. It looks like a little Salisbury steak with a dollop of mayonnaise on top. Why do I like that so much? It tastes like beef that has a lot of fillers on the inside. So this is all stuff you can get from the conveyor belt. But now I'm gonna go to the iPad and order some items that you don't see on here so frequently. What's that? All right, folks, right here we have one of the most expensive pieces I could find on the menu. This is the snow crab. On top of it, I'm gonna put sweet shoyu-based sauce. Sweet soy sauce. Not bad. Probably salty soy sauce would have been better than sweet. It's juicy. The crab itself is sweet. For the price, that was still only about $2.20. So it's pretty impressive. Come take a look at what else we got. This is abalone. And then next to it, something I've never seen before. This is a squid tempura nigiri. I mean, why is it even a nigiri at this point? It's just a giant piece of squid that's fried and they just stuck a piece of rice to it. I love it. That's good. Honestly, the rice, completely unnecessary. Anything tempura in Japan is so delicious because they have such a light, fluffy batter that gets so crispy. Look at this thing.
So this is our most affordable sushi experience, with sushi coming in at just $1.01. By the end of this video, we'll be trying a sushi experience that costs over $6,000. But right now, we're headed to our most medium-priced sushi location, where they're making the biggest sushi in the world.
We have come to our second location. Right behind me, a place serving the absolute most medium-priced sushi you can imagine. Here, it's a little bit more expensive and the quality is a lot higher. But we're not just here for better quality sushi, we are here for bigger sushi. How much does it cost? Why does it exist? How do they make it? I have so many questions. Let's go inside now and find out more. I found evidence of a good time. All right, folks, I'm inside right now with Chef Ishida. We're about to make our nigiri, but first we need the sushi rice. Right now we're headed to the kitchen where they have the rice steaming away. The rice is within a kind of a net or a cheesecloth at the moment, and that is gonna make it super easy to remove. He grabs the cloth and he makes a quick move over to here, putting the rice into this big wooden vessel. Look at that, steamy and delicious. Now we're headed to the front of the house. The rice looks super steamy. Honestly, it just smells like steamed rice. Many of you may not know, but sushi has nothing to do with the fish. Actually, it refers to this right here, the vinegar that goes into the sushi rice, giving it its distinct flavor. Carefully, he drizzles the vinegar over the rice. Then he uses his giant wooden spoon to give it a little bit of a mix. Now it no longer smells like just normal steamed rice. There's a very sour, astringent scent in the room coming off this rice. My God, he's gonna put even more vinegar inside. I've never seen such a brown sushi rice before. It looks like this stage is complete. But what's next? This is not yet ready for consumption because it's too hot. So he's gonna put this away for about an hour so it cools down and the texture changes a bit. Then it's ready for making sushi. Height?
Height.
Height. I wanna have a height off with this guy. Height.
Height.
Height. All right, folks, we have our fish, we have our rice, and we are ready for action. We're gonna make two different nigiris, one with tuna and one with salmon. Step one, manhandle the rice. Now, usually this rice would be something the size of your thumb. This one is gonna be absolutely gigantic. Right here, the tuna. Hold on. Hold on. Is it? That's it? That, climactic. Quickly, we climaxed early. Moving on to our next one, the salmon nigiri. Again, start out with a softball-sized piece of rice. Basically, that is half of fish draped beautifully over that rice, and my God, this thing is beautiful. Let's go outside and try it out. This is insane. It's kind of a border between stunt food, but it kind of looks yummy too. I'm gonna start small and work my way up. Right here, we've got the tuna, but on the side, you've got a little tuna baby. The vinegar, it just makes the rice a little bit softer, a little bit more wet, and a little bit sour. It tastes delicious. But from here, I'm gonna eat something 20 times the size. It's so ridiculous that I need gloves. He very kindly gave me a knife and fork. I'm not gonna use that. I wanna pick up the whole thing. Boom, that is what I call nigiri. I can feel the rice breaking apart a little bit. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a dip in the soy sauce here. There you go, and let's go for it. I didn't even chew that. Wow, I think there's some tendons or something in there. That did not break apart as it usually does. Look at this, it looked like it got into a car accident. I'm starting to understand why people don't usually eat nigiri in this way. But what if I try to eat it from the other side? 100 IQ. Oh yeah, nothing's gonna go wrong this time. refreshing. I can taste the sea. Oh my Lord, that's a lot to handle. So that is the tuna. I gotta say, I like the tuna a lot more when they cut it into little pieces that I can actually bite through. Beyond that, delicious. Now let's get into the salmon. Right here we have our little baby salmon nigiri. Delightful. A little bit warm. It's been hanging out for about 10 minutes, but otherwise delicious. This, on the other hand, is a behemoth, a monster. How do I do this? Oh God, it's so heavy. It's being crushed under the weight of its own weight. Oh my God, here we go. Yes, I've got it in my hands. That is step one. Let's give it a little bit of a dip. No issue with the sinew or tendons or whatever that was in the tuna. It's just thick, delicious, raw salmon. I love it. Oh my God, I got another pound of meat before I even get to the rice. This is my next bite right here. Rice, salmon, all of it together. I don't think I can go back to normal sized nigiri. It's super yummy. It's also a lot of protein. My omega-3s are through the goddamn roof right now. Thank you. Let's talk about the price. Each of these costs 5,000 yen. That's only about $33. That's kind of wild to me because this is like half a salmon here. Here is the catch. This isn't usually on their menu. This is something you need to call ahead and ask for. And even then, they still might not do it for you. It depends on their schedule. So if you do come here, I recommend getting the normal size sushi because it's much more convenient to eat. Before we finish up, there's something I want to do. My favorite form of salmon nigiri is the roasted one that has mayonnaise on top. I brought the chef with me. He has gas and he has mayonnaise. Let's make some magic. Step one, a little bit of a squeeze of mayonnaise, and now the torch. Yeah, buddy. Torched mayonnaise with salmon is such a good flavor. Surely it's gonna work when you scale it up 1,000 times like this. Oishi? Oishi. Oishi. Oh gosh, I'm using my trusty ginsu knife here to get through the mayonnaise, the fish, and the rice. Oh, look at that cross section. Literally, my food has a tail. Here we go. I knew it. I can taste it from my mouth to the top of my nose. The delicious taste of mayonnaise and also salmon and way too much rice. I'm gonna sit down here for the next hour and finish consuming both of these completely. And then after I get gout and die of mercury poisoning, I'm gonna head to our next location where we're spending well over $1,000 on one of the most expensive sushi experiences you can have here in Tokyo, Japan. Let's move in 1 hour. We have arrived at our final and most expensive location for today. On floor 2 of this building, a humble sushi shop. But today they're doing something extraordinary. In a moment, I'm gonna take part in an exclusive tuna cutting ceremony, performed on a tuna that costs thousands of dollars. How much exactly? We're gonna go upstairs now and find out. All right, folks, this is my culinary guide, Locke. This is sushi chef Cho, and this is a tuna that weighs over 170 pounds. We're about to open it right now. Let's take a look inside. Ready? You can talk out loud.
Yes.
Okay. So right now, they are removing the tape that has sealed this styrofoam coffin shut. On 3?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Oh, okay. What an amazing reveal that was. It's in bubble wrap. At this point, this tuna could survive a plane crash. Oh, here we go. This is the real reveal right here. Holy moly. Look at this thing. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's so slippery and heavy.
This massive fish requires 3 to 4 grown men to remove it from its styrofoam coffin.
Wow, what a monster. Look at this thing. And it still has the sales sticker, guaranteed fresh. This here is a bluefin tuna. It is a farm-raised tuna, as many of the bluefin tuna these days are. It is the most premium form of tuna, and it's gigantic. This one right here costs about $6,500.
Today, Chef Cho is preparing 7 different unique cuts of tuna. Our first course, kamaturo, also known as tuna collarbone. But before we can get to it, Chef Cho has to play surgeon. First, he removes the dorsal fin.
Oh my gosh, he's got a sharp knife.
Next, off with its head.
Oh, yeah, well done.
As we reveal the tender, delicious meat on its upper back, or the dorsal side. Finally, we arrive at the prized collarbone.
Oh, it's a massive collarbone.
Look at how fatty it is. The marbling is fantastic because the quantity is very small, so that's why it's a very highly prized and highly sought after.
After some delicate bone removal, we're left with a modest portion of sashimi, sliced into smaller, melt-in-your-mouth bites.
This looks so heavy, fatty, and almost greasy, like my hair 2 hours after I shower. I can't help it, don't laugh.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. I'm just gonna get a little bit of a dip. Cheers. Oh, wow.
Wow.
I don't think I've ever had that part of the tuna. It's very soft.
With a normal, like fatty belly, you have a little bit of tendon in there, so it can be a little bit chewy. But this part at the collarbone, like, there's no tendon, so it tastes like butter. It just melts right in your mouth.
You took the buttery words right out of my mouth.
Yep.
For our next course, we're turning our attention to the body of the fish.
Ooh.
The upper back meat is set aside for later because the tuna belly has 3 distinct meat cuts that we're after.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah, I got it. Thank you. Good, it's on my watch.
So right in the center, you have this red meat over here, right? It's called akami. So it's very lean. It doesn't have any fat content in there. And right, like a little bit at the bottom over here, we have the chutoro. So chutoro is medium fatty, but the highly sought after part is actually this part, the upper belly part. It's really, really tender.
Let's dig into it.
He begins by slicing the belly into more manageable chunks, trimming away the membranes and any undesirable bits. Then he begins to target each cut of the meat we're after, starting with akami, the leanest cut.
It is a very deep, beautiful color.
He then moves on to the medium lean chotoro. And finally, the crown jewel otoro, the fattiest and most coveted meat from this section of the tuna. Each will be carefully sliced into sashimi.
So we have 3 different types of tuna sashimi here. When people in the USA get tuna sashimi, which one are they eating?
Usually they probably eating like the lean part, because the lean part, it has the most quantity in the fish, so it's very easy to export to other countries.
I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of soy sauce.
Very nice.
It's a very familiar flavor. It's soft, it's super tender. It's not greasy, it doesn't leave any residue on your mouth, but it's still a very nice, clean flavor with a wonderful texture. Moving on, right here we have our medium fatty tuna. The color is a little bit different. It's a gradient that's going from red to a little bit more pink. Give it a little bit of it. Now what, hold on.
Yes.
What should I expect different now?
You should taste it a little bit more like, fat content in there. It's gonna be a little bit more tender.
Let's go for it.
Yep.
A little fat, a little bit more residue. It tastes a little bit similar though. I'm not a master yet. Finally, we are trying the fatty tuna or the tuna belly. This is completely different. You can almost see some marbling. It reminds me a bit of the collarbone section that we just ate, but slightly different.
Yes, exactly. You can see a little bit more like tendon in here as well. Because of that, it's less premium compared to the collarbone, but it's still very tender.
Very good, isn't it?
Oh, it's so rich. It kind of melts in your mouth. Of course, you're still getting that amazing seafood essence, but it went down like a piece of greasy butter.
Yeah, I know.
So that's 4 parts of the tuna. How many more are there?
We also have the bone over here, which is called nakaochi. From the head over here, we have the noten. It's very tiny in quantity as well, and we're gonna try that next.
Chef Cho, showcasing his expert knife skills, carefully slices up the tuna, leaving behind only the bone and just a bit of remaining meat, known as nakaochi. The spine is then chopped into smaller pieces and served raw with a spoon.
Oh. Huh? All right, folks, this is dish number 5 right here. A portion of the spine and beyond. We've got this special spoon right here with a pointed tip that's gonna help us retrieve the meat.
Let me show you how to do it. You just scoop it out like this, right?
Ooh.
And now you have a piece of tuna over here on your spoon.
All right, so you're almost mincing it and peeling at the same time, creating a delicious tuna mush. Oh, there is my mush. Little bit of soy sauce.
Normally you wouldn't be able to find this in regular supermarket. Even in regular restaurants, they don't have this either.
Let's go for it.
Very good, right? Oh.
It's a similar amount of leanness. It's not greasy or fatty, but it's a different texture experience. The way you kind of take those thin pieces that would ordinarily be kind of useless and almost mince them up or turn it into a little bit of a tuna mush. It's lovely.
Now that the body and spine have been removed, all that's left is the head. With that, we're ready to explore 2 more dishes, starting with the tuna cheek.
So right here we have the entire tuna cheek. It's such a unique, hard texture. There's some fatty bits, there's some marbling.
The cheek is marinated, coated in flour, and then popped straight into the fryer until it's a glorious golden brown.
All right, folks, we have dish number 6 right here. It looks amazing. It's super warm, it's greasy. Let's go for it.
Yes.
Oh, it's so hot. It's a completely different experience from anything we've had so far because it's cooked.
Exactly.
And the difference in flavor with the tuna between raw tuna, which has a much more mild flavor, to when you cook it, it really brings out kind of the fishiness of the tuna. So you've got that mixed with a nice crispy outer shell. a nice, unique texture. I love it.
I love it too. This is karaage chicken, but it's just fish.
For our final course, we're diving into the meat of the tuna's forehead, lovingly transformed into sushi.
This section of meat is also very similar to like cheekbone in that they are very small in quantity, but also it's very tender, it's very fatty.
That's right where the tuna would usually have a migraine. Migraine gone. Wow, look at that beautiful strip of meat. The first thing he does is cut this forehead meat into thin slices. From here, it's time to prepare the rice. He takes a little dollop of wasabi, he puts it on the rice, he pinches it into the perfect shape, and he puts the tuna forehead on top. The final step is absolutely torching that tuna. And this here is our final product. It looks amazing. Please.
Yes, I'll take one. And I'm gonna dip it in soy sauce.
A reverse flip, only hit a little bit of the fish.
Oh, I will put it in my mouth.
You ate it already?
Sorry.
Let's go for it. Oh my God. It's really good.
Isn't that the best one?
It's my favorite thing to really like sear the meat, whether it's salmon or it's tuna, with a hit of soy sauce. It makes it salty, it's fatty, it's soft, tender, and then you have that delicious sushi rice to balance everything out. That is 10 out of 10 delicious.
10 out of 10. That's absolutely my most favorite dish throughout the night tonight. I love it so much.
So from here, we only have 14 more dishes that we're making from this tuna. No, that's it.
After trying sushi at 3 different price points, I'm ready to say goodbye to fish and hello to Japanese beef, also known as Wagyu. I want to know what happens when you take on Japan's cheapest Wagyu buffet, a buffet where you eat alone and get served by machines. Versus this country's priciest Wagyu buffet coming in at over $300. We're headed to our cheap $30 location now. Let's move.
All right, folks, we are headed to our table, and it's a very unique setup that they have here. First of all, they have a 2-person dining kind of private situation here with 2 chairs, but you can also dine alone here in this solo dining pod. This is where I'm gonna be eating today. This is the perfect opportunity to avoid any awkward social exchanges. You can ignore the other patrons. Nobody has to see the fact that you're dining alone and judge you. No one can even look in your face because look, no servers. It's just you and the food and a computer screen. Let's get started. All right, folks, I'm really doing this. I'm by myself, and the good thing is I'm alone. And the bad thing is I'm alone and nobody can translate, and I need to figure this experience out for myself. Now, got the menu here. The menu does say that there's an English option. What the? Did you just see that? Some trays just flew by. That is how I'm gonna be ordering. Soon, I'm gonna have some meat flying by here for me, but we have to order it on the screen first. Now, they claim to have English. The English is in about a 2-size font, almost impossible to see, but luckily they have pictures. So I'm gonna go with this. And I'll get some of this with a raw egg. Yes, I would like a raw egg. So there's a whole wide menu full of unlimited things that you can order here, but I'm gonna start with a couple of simple beef options to get things started, and then we're gonna go crazy. Here's the problem. We have 90 minutes. That is the catch, so I gotta move. Ooh, the red light is on. That must mean something. Oh Lord, okay, right here we've got beef, we've got an egg, and we've got more beef. And I'm done, so I'm gonna hit this.
Bye, have a great time.
That was invigorating. This is beyond dining. This is like an interactive experience. All right, so I've been delivered everything right here. I've got 2 types of beef, and then I've got an egg. I'm gonna whip the egg, and this is gonna be a coating for some of that hot meat when I pull it off the grill. Now, right here we've got the grill. I'm just gonna toss the meat on and get to cooking.
To truly appreciate the A4 Wagyu, I'm starting with a regular domestic beef brisket, eaten the Japanese way, with a raw egg dip.
Let's go for it. I think that works. Coating the meat with egg, it just adds even more flavor. It's super creamy, especially with that egg yolk.
Before we dig into this premium A4 Wagyu, I want to know how they're able to make this buffet so cheap.
Sir, put her there. You are the manager here at today's most affordable buffet. I have some questions about how your operation works here because it's different from the country that I hail from. How are you able to have a buffet like this that's so affordable?
そうですね。まあ人件費のところで言うと
One of the reasons it's so affordable is because of the conveyor belt in the store, and so they don't have to allocate money to human resources when it comes to serving, and they farm their own cow, so it's a lot cheaper to ship the cows to this specific location.
Here you are serving premium A4 Wagyu, but later today I'm going to be trying A5 Wagyu, the top of the top. How big is the difference between A4 and A5?
そうですね。
I think a normal consumer will not really be able to tell the difference. I think professionals could tell the difference of A5 rank and A4 rank.
To me, this sounds like a test, because not only am I not a normal consumer, I am an over consumer. So,
Finally, it's time for that A4 level Wagyu. Normally, this meat costs $100 to $150 per pound, so let's see if it lives up to the price.
This does not require much time at all. I mean, look at that beautiful A4 Wagyu. All right, I'm pulling that meat off. That is a beauty right there. Would you take a look? Let's go for it. Wow, that's remarkably good. It's fatty, juicy, sweet, everything at the same time. I'm trying to hide my joy a little bit because everyone's trying to have a quiet, lonesome experience here, but I'm just exploding with meat joy at the moment. Now, here's the thing. You only get 90 minutes when you're in these pods, and I think I've used already 15. I'm moving very inefficiently because I'm trying to take a video. So I'm gonna order a bunch of meats at one time. Right here, we have some of the meats we just tried. Very thinly sliced beef. Here, even more beef options. They have pork skirt steak, beef skirt steak, salt-flavored beef tongue, garlic-flavored tongue, and salt-flavored tongue. Well, I'm definitely gonna get some tongue, so let's put that on the menu. Here they have pork galbi, sausage, thick-cut bacon, and fatty pork. This is called tail and skin from a chicken, crunchy meaty gristles, and chicken neck. I can't help it. I'm gonna get some Japanese chicken ass and some chicken neck. All right, guys, the food has arrived. First of all, here we have chicken ass and chicken skin. Time to throw these bad boys on the fire. I think that's done. All right, let's pull that off. Our chicken tail and our chicken skin right here. While we try that, I'm gonna put this on next. This is the chicken neck. The skewer has basically cooked off of this chicken skin. I hope this was pre-cooked in some way, because I'm not sure that every nook and cranny cooked all the way through. Let's give it a shot. Wow, yum. Tastes half raw, half burnt. Perfect. How about the ass? Right here, some of the chicken tail, they're calling it. I'm a little bit worried about salmonella, but then I realized I've had raw chicken before in Japan, and I was fine. And that was completely uncooked, so I'm good. Nailed it. The chicken ass is rich, succulent, oily. The best part is they don't have any bone inside. Anytime I've had ass before, like in the Philippines or Taiwan, they had that kind of cartilagey bone on the inside. This is bone-free. Delicious. In the meantime, I think we can take out these necks. Can I be honest? It might be time for a new grill. Nobody. Nobody. Nice. Oh, hello. There's a nice old lady here. I pointed to the grill and I've asked her to change it. That is what I need. Arigatou gozaimasu. All right, so I'm gonna grab one of these neck pieces. Are you seeing a neck bone? No, you're just seeing the meat from the neck of the chicken. Let's give it a shot. Kind of bouncy, medium rare. I definitely could have cooked that a little bit longer. But all in all, delicious. So right now we have one meat remaining. This is beef tongue. Oddly enough, it is a perfect circle. Let's throw that on the grill next. And just like that, our beef tongue is complete. Now, beef tongue is one of the most underrated parts of the cow, and it doesn't get the respect it deserves in my homeland, the USA. When you roast it here, of course, everything is cut super thinly. It's very greasy. It's got a lot of fat inside, and it's so tender. Oh no, I hate that. No, I'm just kidding. The texture is different. It's a bit bouncy, spongy. When you bite, it bites back a little bit. Smoky, salty, just pure greasy beef flavor. I am in love. Boom. All right, when you are feeling claustrophobic from being inside that tiny cooking pod, you can come here. Right here, they have accoutrement to go with your meat. Tons of vegetables, salads, fruits, mushrooms. And then right here, this looks to be a marshmallow. How is it that I've had barbecue so many times in Asia and I've never seen anyone bring out a marshmallow? It's amazing. Beyond that, they also have a load of different sauces that you can try right here. Everything is self-service. Scoop it up yourself, bring it back to your table, and eat until your heart's content, at least for 90 minutes. We are coming up on 1 hour. We better move. Before I go back to my table, I'm gonna get mushrooms and I'm gonna get marshmallows. I have done a complete refresh. My room is clean. I'm ready to order some more food. This is liver, and this, I believe, intestines. Here they have onion rings, French fries, other fried chicken, even this thing. This is called a petite American dog. I want to try that. That is enough for this round. Let's order up. In the meantime, we have this unusual assortment of oddities: marshmallows, corn, and mushrooms. Roasted mushrooms. I'm such a vegan. Right here, it looks as if my mushrooms are complete. These are enoki needle mushrooms. Let's give it a shot. Tastes like burning. Can I say? The chef at this restaurant sucks. Sadly, today the chef is me. These guys right here are called petite American dogs. I'm assuming it's supposed to be just a tiny little corn dog. It is, except for it also has ketchup in the center. It's an explosion of ketchup, hot dog, and then a crispy corn dog outer layer. Is Japanese making American food better than we are? Yes, they're so good. Next, I believe they have forgotten my intestines, so we're just rolling with this. This is liver. Right here, it looks like the liver is looking a little bit lonely. So behind my beer, they've got a mystery sauce, and I'm gonna pour that on top. Do you know who this sauce probably is not a mystery for? Japanese people. Let's give it a shot. That's good. It almost tastes like a sweet bulgogi sauce. It's very thick, very flavorful. So that said, I have just a few more minutes inside here, and so I'm gonna roast up these guys. A couple of marshmallows to end my roasting journey. I have absolutely never roasted marshmallows in this way. Let's see what happens. You know, come to think of it, I think I saw roasting sticks up by the vegetables. This is not going great. Remember when I said I would need to change the grill? Look at it now. Roasted Japanese marshmallow. A little burnt, a little creamy. It reminds me of summertime in Minnesota. I love it. Well, folks, my 90 minutes has expired. Am I disappointed in my efforts? Yes, I am. I feel like I didn't truly take advantage of this buffet. Here's my advice. If you come to this one, don't film, just eat. Especially, oh my God, imagine drinking beers, eating meat, listening to Joe Rogan talk about who would win between a grizzly bear and a gorilla. Amazing. This is something I wish they had everywhere. I loved a lot of the meats that I tried, and overall, I think it's just a super fun experience. So that is our very affordable buffet. But next, we're going to the most expensive buffet we could find in Japan. We have come to our second location, Yakinikute Rokasen. Immediately when you walk into this place, everything feels different. It's bigger, it's more expansive. There's room for waiters and people to come to your table. Here, you're not being served by a machine. Here, you're being served by people. People who are very well dressed, might I add. The gentlemen look handsome. The ladies look very traditional. I like it. Additionally, this is not like the type of buffet where you go up and get your own food. You sit at the table the whole time and you are served on by others. Right now, I'm headed to my table where I'm gonna learn how this unique, expensive Japanese buffet works. You do not have to get a buffet as expensive as I'm getting today. There are a few different options in here. The cheapest one is 12,100 yen, but the most expensive one is what I'm getting today. That is the Kobe beef for 48,400 yen. This is brand name beef. So I'm basically eating the Chanel of Wagyu, which is amazing because Chanel also made out of cow. Okay, you understand that, but what are the logistics of ordering? First of all, this. Anytime you need anything, you just hit this button. Now the best part is it's not hardwired in, so you can bring it into the bathroom with you in case you need help. Okay, but I don't want to talk to a human every time I want to order a food. That's why I've got the iPad right here. Look at these pictures. Big, clear. Look at this font. Readable. So we're going to get started with our first course, the Kobe beef. All right, here we are. Take a look at that. Look at this meat right here. We have 3 different types of beef. Kobe Wagyu.
Yes, Kobe Wagyu.
Premium salted beef tongue? No.
Yes.
Which one is tongue?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Premium filet steak.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Arigato gozaimasu.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
All right, let's fucking eat. First, we have this, the filet. Oh my gosh, I'm just gonna put the whole thing on the grill. Now, one thing you're gonna notice right away is a big difference in the size of the meat from our last location. I think the last location used lasers to get the meat very, very thin. Here we got nice, thicker chunks of meat. I'm gonna take this monster piece. Oh lordy. I'm gonna give this a little bit of a dip in the barbecue sauce and let's throw it back. Oh Lord. Now I know why they need walls to separate people, so you don't visually see people moaning with pleasure. That was really good. But it's not just about the difference in quality, it's about the thickness of the cut too. It's so meaty, but so juicy, full of beefy, fat, exploding goodness. Such a satisfying bite. So that is our first cut. Now moving on to this beef tongue right here. Now you saw beef tongue at our last location. Look how thick this one is. The beef tongue is one of the weirdest appendages of the animal because when it's just in its full tongue form and you're wiggling it around, it looks wild. It does look a bit disgusting. But when you've kind of peeled off the outer layer of the tongue and you've cut it into thin, beautiful strips like this, it looks like steak, but it's gonna have a much different texture. I'm gonna give it a little bit of a dip in my lemon sauce and throw it back. Oh yeah, completely a different experience from that filet. It's a unique, dense texture, kind of like abalone. If Japan can, they're gonna find a way to breed cows with longer tongues. ChatGPT, invent a cow that has a very long tongue. Take a look at that right there. That's a cow that would know how to pleasure me. I mean, by way of its tongue meat. Right now I'm talking to Sakura, full-time manager here at one of the most expensive buffets we could find in Japan. I understand that not everything on the menu is super expensive, and in fact, you don't have to get super expensive meat if you don't want to. But if you want to, you can spend up to $327 on the most expensive buffet option. Why is it so expensive?
牛なんですけど、和牛の中でも
The beef that they have shipped to this restaurant is very rare. So when they ship it here, it becomes really expensive because the demand is really high, but the supply is really low.
Some buffets try to impress people by having over 150 items, but when it comes to meat here, you have under 20. What is the idea behind not having so many meat options?
ある程度のクオリティを
Quality is really important for them. When you try to pick things that are high quality, it just the amount tends to get less and less.
Well, so then the question is, what if you had to serve one meat dishes? What do you think is the most high quality, high priced, high value item that you have here?
神戸牛神戸トップサーロイン
So it would be the Kobe top sirloin.
Nice. I'm gonna try that. All right, folks, our meat is finished and it looks phenomenal. The last time I had Kobe beef, I was actually in the city of Kobe, and it was one of the best meat experiences I'd ever had in my life. You had a chef right in front of you, cooking every single bite to perfection. Today, I am that chef. And I gotta say, I'm doing a much better job here than at our first location, where I burned pretty much everything. Cheers. This is the type of food to make you feel not worthy. It's so beefy, it's so juicy, it's heavy. I mean, you couldn't eat too many of these because you would end up feeling sick. But if you dose it properly, it's perfect, just like fentanyl. So for my next course, just like a mother who doesn't truly love her child, I've got my iPad ready to go. So let's walk through some of the meats they have here. First of all, they have the Kobe rib meat. We just had that. Another form of Kobe, not as expensive. Special filet, we tried that. Beef tongue, we tried that. Moving on to the pork section, what I'm interested in is this right here, the Iberian pork loin. Iberian pork is one of the most expensive types of pork anywhere in the world. It comes from Spain and is basically the Wagyu of pork. But I also want to try the Wagyu of the ocean. And now we wait. Oh, hello.
Iberico pork.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The pork has arrived. Iberico pork. It's got the sheen of a delicious Japanese sauce on top. And,
こちらカニクラブ
oh, is this a Japanese crab?
Yes, crab. これ already boiled.
Okay, thank you. Our food has arrived. We have our Iberico pork right here, and it doesn't look like pork at all. It actually looks like steak. These pigs are typically raised in forests where they roam freely and feed on acorns, herbs, and grasses, contributing to their unique taste and quality of meat. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, that's a pig. That's a good pig. There's just something naturally sweet about this meat itself. It's so delicious. Pork doesn't get the recognition it deserves, and in Japan especially, beef gets all the attention. But this is something special, and I'm in love. After Wagyu and pork, it is time to take a trip to the sea. Right here we have snow crab. I'm gonna crack this open. All right, let's give it a shot. It's salty and sweet and absolutely delicious. At first, you might look at it, you might think it's a king crab. It is not. This is not imported. It's just brought from, the northern part of Japan. The sweetness is unmatched and it tastes super fresh. From here, it is back to the iPad for one more order. Let's take a look. Now, near the end of the meat menu, you will find some unique items, including fine stomach. Let's get some fine stomach. I also want to get intestine and order sent. Now, you might be asking yourself, hey, Sonny, why would you order that weird stuff? Because I'm at a buffet that costs over $300. I want to understand why they have that uniquely unusual stuff on their menu. Even though the menu is not super extensive, you do make room for some cuts that we would consider unusual in the USA. Like you've got stomach, you have intestine, you have liver. Why still have those organ meats?
がそういうのがやっぱ好きなんですね。
So as you mentioned, in America, people don't really eat things like stomach or intestine, but when it comes to Japan, like people really like stomach or intestine. So to respond to the needs of the Japanese customers, they still offer such dishes.
That was a stunning and elegant way of saying because people like it. At last, our final course is arriving and it's right here. This looks actually better than I expected. Here we have some stomach and some intestine. So we're gonna throw this all on the grill. Now, a cow's stomach has 4 chambers. This is a portion of the stomach from the first chamber known as mino. The mino is a prized cut in Japanese barbecue valued for its chewy texture and slightly fatty flavor. When cooked on a yakiniku grill like this, it becomes tender and juicy with a pleasantly crispy bite on the outside, creating a contrast with its chewy interior. For most people, when they hear cow stomach, they go, no thanks, gross. But when you hear that description, there's just so much more to it, especially when you come to a place like Japan. That said, let's go for it. Unbelievable. First of all, coated in miso. So it has a super deep, savory flavor to it, and then there's like zero gaminess. It tastes delicious. On to our final food. Right here, some intestine. I've never seen beef intestines like this. First of all, they're not in a tube shape. They're so incredibly fatty. They've reduced in size by about half, and now they're crispy and charred, and they look and smell amazing. Let's go for it. It's so good. A little chewy, kind of like squid texture, not a ton of flavor. This could use a dipping sauce because it was only seasoned with salt, but it's not gamey, there's no funkiness. It's just a nice, crispy, toasty kind of flavor to it. I'm gonna dip one in my barbecue sauce just to give it a little bit more flavor. Oh yeah. The special care that has been given to this unusual, often discarded part of the animal, Japan, you've earned my respect.
It's clear that over generations, Japanese folks have perfected the art of beef and sushi too. But after perfecting their own food, folks in Japan have moved on to perfecting American fast food. Next, I'm on a mission to see how this country is perfecting or destroying fast food inspired by the US of A. And it all starts here.
Behind me, our first location, Dom Dom Burger. This is Japan's first homegrown fast food burger chain established in 1970. They have faced stiff competition from places like McDonald's. Nice. But still, Dom Dom has carved out a unique identity in the Japanese fast food scene. What are they known for? Well, they have some unique burger offerings. Let's approach and take a look at the menu. First of all, they think they can just have everything in Japanese and hide their sneaky menu items from me. I'm gonna use my Google Translate and find out this is, boom, teriyaki burger. And then here we have tomato and cheese. This to me, I think is kind of their classic burger. I do think I should perhaps try a classic just to see how the Japanese interpret a classic burger, because they also have some unique items like you see over here. Right here, I don't even need English to know what this is. That is clearly a whole fried crab inside of a burger. It looks terrifying, but it could be delicious. Konnichiwa. Could I please have a tomato and cheese teriyaki pear burger and crab. My order is complete. That should be coming up soon. We're gonna get our first taste of Japanese fast food. All right, folks, I've got 3 burgers today, and I am starting with their most normal burger because I want to kind of calibrate myself for the quality here and what to expect. They call it the tomato and cheese. I don't know why they're focusing on those 2 elements. Oh, wow. At first glance, I gotta say it looks immaculate. It looks perfect. It kind of looks like the picture. The lettuce even looks fake. It might be fake. It's real. Unbelievable. It's so green. It's so leafy. At least it makes it look pretty. We've got a thick slice of tomato. Oh my God. The tomato's like covering the whole burger. Ketchup, cheese, and 2 burger patties. This is looking excellent. Let's give it a shot. This is Japan's answer to the Whopper. I was gonna say the only thing that's missing is mayonnaise, but no, they have that too. It's basically all the ingredients: lettuce, tomato, the combination of mayo and ketchup. Then you have a sesame seed bun on top. I'm very impressed, but this is a normal burger. Coming up next, we're gonna dive into something that's pretty unusual. Right here, we have our next victim, the pear burger. Yes, you heard me right. Not impaired, although it could also be that. The pear burger is one of Dom Dom Burger's most unique and surprising creations. I agree, very surprising. Showcasing their willingness to experiment with unconventional ingredients. It was launched in 2021 on the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Just kidding, could you imagine? Let's open it up and see what it looks like. Whoosh. First of all, they have absolutely nailed the look of each of these. The same sesame seed bun on top. The next layer after that, you've got a thick dollop of mayonnaise, immaculate lettuce, and then what? Several slices of pear with some kind of a unique white mayonnaise-based sauce on there. Again, they have 2 thin patties, and then on the bottom, what looks to be teriyaki or some kind of a brown sauce. I'm gonna give it a shot. This is a lot of pear. It's very sweet. It's also an F-ton of sauce, which I like overall. There's super sweet teriyaki. There's mayonnaise, which also seems to be fairly sweet. The pears are not my favorite fruit because they're kind of mealy. In the end, it's not disgusting. It's just a little off-putting. It's a little weird. I like that they're going for it. I do applaud creativity, but we all need to have limits imposed upon us. That's why I got married. So I'm gonna have someone to tell me what to do. Our next and most iconic burger, the crab burger. Let's learn about it. This is the chain's most unusual and iconic menu item, setting it apart in Japan's fast food scene. The crab burger gained widespread attention for its daring use of a whole crab. You know what would be more daring? A whole dolphin, which they might try in Japan. It's uncommon in fast food. Many diners were intrigued by its appearance and the novelty of eating an entire soft-shell crab. Let's check it out. Oofta. Oh my God, look at that little guy. An entire soft-shell crab sitting on a bed of cheese and lettuce. It's kind of amazing. It fits pretty snugly and perfectly in there. It looks comfortable. When I was in Maryland, I had a soft-shell crab there and it was delicious. I've never touched a crab like this. Oh, you poor guy. He's looking at me like,
Man, if I had any stiffness to my claws, I would bite you in the finger.
but you can't. When we ate them, oh my God, like crab butter. Is this gonna be like that? Let's find out. It's got a powerful, briny, kind of seafoody taste. It's a pretty intense flavor. It tastes like they've coated it with some kind of a sweet chili sauce. The cheese ain't doing much to help. It's so weird. Every time you take a bite, you're masticating its legs, its torso, you're biting its head in half, and you can feel your teeth rip through it. It has that leathery outside. I don't care how hungover I was, this is not a fast food that I would crave for. But that makes me sad. I'd rather put that in the burger. He wants to eat my burger, but I want to eat him. Hey, come on. And maybe that'll be the next thing they have on their menu, pigeon burgers. So that is our final burger from Dom Tom's. Next, we've got a donut shop that's serving up something that you'll never find at your local Krispy Kreme. Let's head there and find out. Behind me, our second location, Mr. Donut, an establishment that started in the USA and then eventually was adopted by Japan. Inside, you're gonna find a lot of familiar items, things that look like donuts that you've seen anywhere else. But then they have a couple of items that I don't even know how to describe. For example, one of these is called Zaku Mochi Dog Mexican Meat. First of all, what is Zaku? I know mochi, I know dog. Meanwhile, the food looks like that. Does that look like any donut or dog or Mexican you've ever seen before? Let's go inside and see how it looks. Now, again, I told you they have some familiar items. We've all seen something like this before at Krispy Kreme. It looks delicious, it looks familiar. Here they are, the Zaku. First of all, we have crunchy soft dog. This actually is a curried flavor donut with an egg on top. This one says crunchy soft dog Mexican meat. I love Mexican meat. And then finally, we have crunchy soft dog egg. Japan has created their own category of donut. It is unknown to the Western world. I think it was meant to remain so for eternity, but today I will expose them to everyone. All right, folks, take a look inside my box. There are 3 different flavors in here. I'm gonna start with the most innocent one, the egg, and then I'm gonna build up to the most wild one, which would be Mexican meat. What's that even mean? This is essentially an egg salad donut, not an egg salad sandwich. Now I finally have my hands on this thing. I thought it was gonna be more like a hot dog. One of them said dog. Do not comment that they're eating dog. Essentially what we have here is fried bread. I'm not sure if it's sweet. It does smell a little bit sweet. It's got some texture on the outside, and then as I kind of open it, you see it's just a thin layer of spread out egg salad with an egg on top. Let's give it a shot. There is a little bit of crunch on the outside. The egg salad, it looks small, but it tastes mighty. Everybody knows that the Japanese really excel at a handful of things. 1, electronics, and 2, egg salad sandwiches. In this case, they have that same great egg salad inside full of delicious mayonnaise and soft succulent eggs, but it's in a donut. It's very creamy and somewhat satisfying. This is part of a line of strange donuts called Zaku. Zaku is used to describe things that are crunchy. Now, is it that crunchy? Not really. There's like a little bit of texture on the outside, but it's not like crunchy. Let's look at the next one. All right here we have our next one. I'm pulling it out, removing its pants. Next donut. This one is known as Zaku Mochi Dog Curry. Chewy yet chunky dough is sandwiched between a mildly spicy and smooth curry filling. Oh, that's curry? I thought it was, well, it looks distinct, but not distinctly like curry. And it's topped with a sliced egg that resembles a soft boiled egg. Let's give it a shot. Wow, it's such a thick, whole, salty curry. The curry's not bad. Of course, it tastes like a Japanese curry, not like a curry from India. This is a flavor that folks here love. For me, it's kind of a love-hate relationship if you minus the love part. I don't like it. But luckily, we have one remaining. Our next Zaku is a mochi dog with Mexican meat. Amazing, because what is Mexican meat? You don't exactly pull up to a taco truck in LA and say, I'll get one with the Mexican meat, please. Spicy Mexican meat is sandwiched between chewy dough and topped with cheddar cheese sauce, made with tomatoes, beans, ground beef. Oh my God, Mexican meat is beef. This spicy Mexican meat is reminiscent of chili con carne. It means chili with meat, but they don't know Spanish in Japan. We don't even know Spanish in the USA. We call cheese queso cheese. That just means cheese. I'm gonna take a big bite of this beautiful Mexican meat masterpiece. Let's go. It's so sweet, it's so sugary. It basically tastes like a sweet ketchup sauce with little morsels, tiny little bits of meat inside. And we didn't even get to the cheese yet. Processed cheese, cheese that definitely did not come from a Wagyu cow or any cow, and not even a goat. That does taste like oil-based cheese. It's not that bad. But if I had to rank all of these, I would give the curry third place, this second place, and the one that's actually pretty good that I would eat again, the egg salad donut. So this is what's happened to donuts in Japan. After Fukushima, they went back to the local Mr. Donuts, and this is what they found. And they thought, hey, nice mutation, let's serve that. From here, we're gonna get a taste of something a bit more familiar. The king of burgers, Burger King, but done the Japanese way. What have they done to twist the nipples of our dear king? Let's go find out. Behind me, our third location, Burger King. On the outside, at first glance, everything looks normal. Once you take a closer look, it couldn't be more not normal. What am I talking about? How about Johnsonville brats served at a Burger King? I'm sorry, is this the Wiener King? No, that's my name on weekends when I go to swinger parties. What? That was the code to get into Diddy's mansion.
What?
Wiener King. Who? I never got let in. As with many of the fast food franchises that have come here to Japan, they have adjusted to the local palate. Yes, you can find the Whopper, but you can also find some very unusual food items. Let's go inside and take a look. But first I want to show you this. We are in Japan, the least overweight country in all of Asia, and they are serving a 1-pound garlic niniku burger. What does niniku mean? It means garlic. It's a garlic burger. First of all, there's 4 patties, 2 layers of cheese, orange sauce on the top and bottom. I'm assuming that's filled with garlic, and it is a 1-pounder. Is it really big and delicious? Let's go inside and find out. All right, folks, we have the menu behind me right here. So this is the first thing I'm gonna order, the Niniku Garlic 1-pounder. But what I've really come here for is the Chipotle Pine Burger. It is a burger filled with a whole slice of freaking pineapple inside. Why did they do that? Let's taste it and find out. And meal 3 has begun. The first thing I want to point out, this right here is a large drink in Japan. That is wild. This would be, I don't know, a kid's drink? This is something for a toddler in the USA. Diet Coke to cancel out all the fast food. Smart, 100 IQ. Right here we have the 1-pounder. And can I tell you, it feels like a pound. I'm gonna remove the kimono and see what's underneath. Holy cow, what an absolute disgusting mess. Let's go back to when we were at Dum Dum Burger. Do you see how perfect it was? How immaculate, how the ingredients were all placed perfectly. There was balance, it looked beautiful. Now look at this, what the hell? Oh no. 4 patties, some kind of an orange garlicky sauce all over the place. It looks like they had a machine just absolutely barf up orange sauce all over my burger. I'm so scared of there being an actual avalanche. We've got cheese, randomly scattered pickles, a little mustard, ketchup, and then that orange sauce is everywhere. On the bottom, more orange sauce. So keep in mind, this is the garlic 1-pounder. It's that right there. Take a look at that. Now go to the picture. Yeah, basically exactly the same. All right, let's give it a shot. Oh, a lot of beef. Is this A4 Wagyu or A5? There's so much meat. In a country known for precision and excellence, who is their demographic except for huge Americans that rolled their way all the way to this country? Look at that, dude. Who wants just like 2 inches of solid meat? Unless you're my wife. Hey, babe. See you soon. Nice. In general, it's just a complete mess. But this is not why I came here. Let's open that one next. This is the Tsukimi Pineapple Chipotle Burger. It seems to be much more manageable. Ah, see? Same bun, kind of like that big Whopper bun. Oh my God. On one side, lettuce and mayonnaise. On the other side, 2 slices of pineapple, bacon, and a mysterious orange glaze or sauce. Way on the underside, nothing. Wow, Japan, a missed sauce opportunity. I don't know what's up with the Japanese folks today putting fruit in their burgers, but let's give it a shot with an open mind and an open mouth. Suspicion. This burger is misinformation. First of all, they have a Whopper here. Just get that, guys. Everything else is just marketing. No one's really eating this food. There's no way a Japanese person has ever ordered this 4-patty burger. One thing I do like about it is that there's a nice contrast between the sweet fruit and the very spicy Chipotle sauce. It's nice and smoky. It's a good flavor. Now, a lot of you might not know, Chipotle is not just a brand of burrito restaurants that gives people Ebola, or what is it, E. coli, or maybe both. Chipotle is actually a smoked, dried, ripe jalapeno chili pepper used for seasoning. And I knew that off the top of my head. That is what it's flavored with, and it's a nice flavor. Beyond that, the pineapple. Listen, pineapple, it belongs on pizzas, not inside of burgers. I think we can all agree on that. In the end, I'm not a fan, I gotta say. If I liked either one more, it'd probably be the garlic monstrosity. But in general, next time you come to Burger King, just get a Whopper. Better yet, don't come. From here, we are headed to one more fast food establishment. In fact, this is the establishment that gave Burger King its most competition when they first tried to come to this country. Let's go check out Moss Burger. All right, folks, we have come to our final location, Moss Burger and Cafe. It's both in one. Let's talk about Moss Burger though, because this is one of the few fast food franchises that was not brought over from the USA. This is a Japanese original. Moss Burger is a popular Japanese fast food chain known for its fresh, high quality ingredients and its unique take on burgers. When I say unique take on burgers, it's just like, what are these things? The menu is confusing, but what they do is they trick you by making it microscopic. Moss stands for mountain, ocean, and sun, representing the company's philosophy of providing natural, wholesome food. Okay. Take it easy. You have a hot dog burger. What is that reflecting? What I'm most excited about here is that they have rice burgers. This is great if you have a gluten allergy or you just want to switch it up and try something different than your usual wheat bun. This is the menu when it's blown up to a giant poster. It's just barely readable, but these are some of the items that I'm after today. It's a hot dog in a sandwich with some greens. There's an egg in there. It looks fascinating. I'm gonna get it. Down here you can see the Moss rice burger, full of delicious seafood with 2 buns made out of rice. Let's head to the order kiosk now and order. The problem is there is no English here, but they do have nice big pictures. I see an egg, I see a wiener, I see it all in kind of a bun. Let's get that. Yo, did you see that animation? Sick. All right, folks, this is our final meal of the day, Moss Burger. I've heard of it. I've never been here before in my life. And looking at this cafe behind me, it's kind of a little bit more high end. And when you take a look at the food, it looks immaculate. Now, I've got 3 that I've chosen today, and some of these I don't know what they are. Let's start with what's more familiar. This is the Moss Rice Burger with seafood, also known as Kakiaje Rice Burger. It features a combination of seafood and vegetables sandwiched between 2 grilled rice patties instead of the traditional bread buns. What's really impressive, it's not so easy to make buns out of rice and to make them kind of sticking together and not falling apart. This thing is hot and it's steamy. Oh yeah, a perfect hockey puck of jammed together vegetables and seafood between 2 other hockey pucks made of rice. If I'm honest, many of the foods we tried today, at least some of them made me feel disgusted, but I look at this, I feel a little tingly, I feel some excitement. Let's go for it. They have nailed the rice buns. They perfectly keep their shape. They're not falling apart. They're not breaking into pieces. They are still kind of soft, somewhere between the regular jasmine rice and a sticky rice. And then when you bite inside, it's so delicious. It tastes mainly like a little bit of seafood and a lot of soy sauce. It's very salty, but man, that is pleasurable. They have done good work here. I'm impressed. When I looked at this, I assumed I would like it, but these 2, I'm not so sure. This is our next creation. They have a focaccia bread. When you open it up, you've got an egg, you've got sauce, and then you've got that big wiener. Now, not so long ago, I was inside a food truck in Minnesota, and I met a guy named Dustin who asked me an important question.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Well, today, it definitely is. If you want to make a hot dog into a sandwich, basically, you just have to make it do a U-turn and slap it between a couple of buns. As I give it a little bit of a sniff, it smells like a sweet barbecue sloppy Joe mix that's kind of slapped in there between the dog and underneath this egg right here. So this has a little bit of everything. It also tastes like there's sauerkraut in there too. I mean, that would make sense with the sausage. The wiener is smoky. I think the visual is appealing and enticing. When you first take a bite, you're hit with that smoky sausage and then that super sweet and kind of barbecue tasting sauce with the meat. But it also just doesn't feel Japanese at all. It feels German plus an egg plus focaccia bread. So I will give them an A for effort. But do I think this should be exported from here to the USA? No, I think it should be deported from Japan to back to Germany, I guess. So that is food number 2. But for our final food, we have this right here. All right, guys, for today's 10th and final burger, I have made a mistake. I thought this looked cool on the menu because it was green like the Hulk. It was very tall. I like tall burgers. This is a nice green bun. I like that. Some cabbage, some red sauce, and then this is a soy burger, then a tomato. Wait, hold on. A soy burger? You mean no animals had to suffer for this patty to be here? That's right. It's made out of a bunch of weird ingredients. Do you know what patties are usually made out of? Mexican meat. After the soy disc, we have tomato, and then we have this perfect lettuce. Oh my God, Japan is the best looking lettuce. And finally, on the flip side, nothing. Another missed sauce opportunity in Japan. Just because something is vegetarian doesn't mean it can't taste good. Just kidding. That's exactly what it means. In the very first moment, it tasted like a BLT, like a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich, especially maybe with all the mayo inside. But I'm tasting that patty and I'm like, is there pork in there? That would be diabolical. This might have a little bit of pork in it. Lab-grown pork. All I can imagine is a pig on life support with cables coming out of its body, like growing it in a lab. In the end, I could say it is pretty dang good, but it's basically a tomato and mayonnaise sandwich with other layers and textures inside. I didn't know the day would ever come that I started to fall a little bit in love with a soy product, like the soy boy that I am. But I think today I've gone maybe perhaps from a soy boy to a soy man.
If you thought that pear burger or that Mexican meat donut looked challenging,
It's not that bad.
you haven't seen nothing yet. For our final foray into the food of Japan, we're taking on this country's most extreme, most exotic delicacies. Foods I never knew you could find here.
Looking at this thing now without the hair, it looks even more terrifying.
From live lobster sashimi to this horse's,
Brutal.
well, you'll find out soon. But it all starts at this humble 10-seat eatery where they're cooking up bear paw. But why do they eat it, and how are they getting their paws on these paws? Let's go find out.
Right behind me, GBA Kishiya. This is a restaurant specializing in game meats. Evidently included in those game meats is bear paw. This is a dish that takes all day to make, so we've come here in the morning to see it get started, and by this evening, we're actually gonna be able to eat it. But first, I wanna take a look at this bear paw. Oh my God. Guys, have you ever seen anything like this? 3 giant bear paws. Where's the 4th one? This bear was an amputee. This bear went top. Iraq. I'm sorry. You can see clearly these 2 are the back feet. This is the front paw. Oh, it feels so weird. Look at these massive fingernails, claws that could actually tear you to shreds. And then on this side, dude, look at that pad. This is thick, callous. Oh, it's bigger than my hand. All right, I'm gonna pick up the back one. Oh my God, it looks notably different. A big, thick, padded, super callous bottom of the foot right there. Thick hair covering everything, and then of course right here, that's where its ankle socks end. This is a wild one for me, but what's really wild is trying to understand how this even works. Where are these bears from? Why are they eating it? Why is it so expensive? And how did this become a tradition in Japan? That is what I need to find out. Next, I'm gonna head inside and speak to the owner about this. We have a lot to discuss. The sourcing is perhaps the most interesting part of this. How do you, in a giant city with like 20 million people, get your hands on these hands?
Gets these shipped all the way from Hokkaido, and he asked a middleman company who has connections with all these hunters like from Hokkaido, and he's also in connection with like hunters themselves as well.
Hunters. So all the bears here are hunted. They're not like farm-raised bears, I guess. Are there that many bears in Japan?
There are many bears out there. However, the good thing is the demand's pretty low, so there's not as many stores or restaurants that serve bear paw in Japan.
Why is there a focus on the feet in particular?
It's considered like a luxury dish in China over there. So that culture kind of swept into Japan, and so even in Japan it's considered a luxury dish. In addition to that, personally for Kishi-san, he really enjoyed like the impact of it.
I assume when he says impact, I mean like the visual. Take a look at this. That looks insane. Here, hold it.
It's so heavy.
It's so big.
It's so big.
It looks like it came from a dinosaur. So from here, we're gonna prepare it, and by tonight, it'll be ready to eat. Step 1 is happening right here. He has a pressure cooker pot, and he is filling that with water right now. He puts that into the pot, submerging the whole thing, and we will say goodbye to that guy. We'll see that in a couple of hours.
In the meantime, the chef prepares a delicacy so rare, few Japanese have even tried it. The brain of a deer. First, it's lightly seasoned with flavor enhancers, salt, MSG, and pepper. Next, he coats both sides of the brain with flour. In a skillet, the chef adds a splash of olive oil and a bit of butter. Once it's sizzling hot, the brain is placed in the pan. When one side is fully seared, he gives it a flip, basting it with care. Into the oven it goes for 20 minutes to cook through. Then it returns to the skillet for a final touch of golden perfection, if you want to call it that. He flavors the plate with a sauce made with a blend of herbs, garlic, breadcrumbs, and anchovies.
All right, folks, this is my first meal of the day, and it is a doozy. This is not just any ordinary brain. This is the brain of a deer. What is a part of the brain that understands how traffic works? Because that is missing in every single deer, especially in Minnesota, where I'm from. Let's dig into it. So I've got some of my green emulsion mixed with some of that beautiful brain. Let's give it a shot. Wow, very fatty, soft, tender. The outside does have a little bit of a skin to it. That being said, all the flavors in my mouth, fireworks, amazing.
This is my first taste of the day, and I've got to say, it's a strong start. But in the end, it's just a distraction from the inevitable bear paw.
I am here again with Kishi-san. 2 hours has gone by, and we are gonna remove the bear paw from the pot and see how it looks. Oh, it looks nuts. It's a bit smelly, although this is looking a lot cleaner, and you can see the claws just sticking out of the water. From here, he's filling the pot with even more water and dumping some of that out. The smells in here are amazing. Not really. He peels off the bottom of the foot, the pad, revealing the pink subdermis. Slowly but steadily, he peels away the skin and the fur, revealing the nice pink meat underneath. Looking at this thing now without the hair, it looks even more terrifying. It's so big, so muscular. I mean, look at this foot. It looks wild. From here, he's gonna finish the tedious work of pulling out every single hair, and then that's gonna head back into the pressure cooker, right? Right.
While the bear paw spends some hours braising, I'm hitting the streets on the lookout for some more exceptional, unexpected Japanese food.
While our bear paw is cooking at our first location, we have come here, a place called Rice and Circus. And let me tell you, it is a circus inside. And no, I don't just mean it's wild and chaotic. I mean, like every animal that you've ever seen in a circus, they're probably serving them up here. This is not common food in Japan. This is kind of like wild stamina dude foods. The owner is already underway cooking up our first dish. We're gonna go inside, check it out, and then learn more about the food they're serving here. Let's move. All right, folks, I'm entering the kitchen now, meeting Mr. Momiyama-san right here. This is our starting course.
Kintama.
Kintama. That might, in Japanese, mean testicles. Testicles. These are not just any testicles. These are wild boar testicles. I'm told they're a little bit smaller than a pig's testicles. Now, he is gonna prepare this into a delicious appetizer for me to try. Step one, he takes the testicle, which appears to be frozen. It's a testicle icicle at the moment. He slices each end and he takes the skin from the outside of the testicle and just peels it away. From here, he gives the testicle a bit of a slice. They look like they could be pepperonis on a pizza. Kind of, a little bit, not really. He eats it with a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And then here we have some flour. These look like donut holes at this point. The testicles are sizzling away. He throws some greens into the pan and a little bit of butter. He hits it with some soy sauce. He seasons the plate with pepper. And just like that, our testicle is finished. I'm gonna give one a shot right now. Oishi? Oishi. Oishi. All right, he says it's yummy. Let's go for it. Yeah, oishi.
Oh, thank you.
It's got a nice flavor to it. It almost tastes more beefy than it does porky, even though it is technically pork. You would think it would be more fatty and gelatinous, but it's almost like a hard pate. It has kind of almost like a crumbly texture in the center. The seasoning's basic but delicious. He's got some veggies in there too. It's legitimately good. So this is my appetizer, and it's actually the least strange thing I'm gonna be eating here today. I wanna talk to this guy more to learn about how this place works. Thank you for the testicle. That was a wonderful experience. This place seems like it has a little bit of everything. Can you explain what the theme of this place is?
美味しいは楽しい。楽しいは美味しい。
The motto of their company is fun equals good tasting food. And so we want people to be happy, like having fun. And when you serve things that are so like bizarre and interesting, it's just like naturally they have a smile on their face or they're like really intrigued.
Can you tell me some of the more bizarre items that are popular here?
特殊なやつはやっぱり
One of the rare ones is definitely the testicle, and then also the brain, sheep, pig, and for this year, they're thinking about hopefully getting whale brain.
Whale brain? Is that the size of a Cadillac? I am back in the kitchen with Momiyama-san. We've got one other food in store. That food being this right here. That, my friends, is a Japanese crow that he's about to cook up that I'm going to be tasting shortly. Step one, he puts it in a bowl and he seasons it with a little bit of salt. He hits it with a little bit of oil. The seasonings are quite simple, especially for Japan, but it's because folks here want to have the real taste of whatever animal it is that they're eating. He puts it on a steel tray and it looks like that is going to head into the oven in the world's smallest kitchen. 20 minutes has passed. It is time to pull out that crow. There we go. Still sizzling. Oh my gosh, it looks insane. Look at that face. All right, folks, we have our epic main course right here, starting with the bird. The breast meat is usually the best because it has the most actual protein. So it looks a little bit medium. Let's give it a shot. Not bad. It kind of tastes like quail breast, but more substantial. It's a bigger bird. It's got bigger pecs, more muscle for more flight. That is the breast. But my favorite part of most birds is right here. This is the drumstick. Oh my God, just do some jujitsu to it. Oh yeah, that's what happened to Conor McGregor right there. And then there you have it. Cheers. Yeah, tough indeed. It's a rich meat. It tastes good. It's most similar to maybe quail or puffin. A bit tough. And it has a lot of hemoglobin. It tastes like bloody and juicy, almost like a steak.
So that is the crow, but the real highlight of this location is right beside it. The horse's, how do I say this? Caw. At first glance, it may seem terrifying to some of you. And that's because it absolutely is.
Let's talk about what we're gonna be eating today. You have, I feel like we need to bleep it. Today I'm having a horse penis. Why?
So first reason is because a lot of people throw away penises. So to like use things that we don't use, kind of like sustainability, I guess, in a way. The second reason is definitely for fun. Everyone who comes here, they always ask, do you have this penis? Do you have that penis?
This seems pretty fun. All right, should we do it?
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we have our horse part right here. He's gonna pick it up and just show us the size. That's big. And when he puts it down, it looks like it could be its own species. I never thought I would come face to face with something like this. Brutal. The first thing he does is he puts it into this pot of boiling water. And you know what? Let's get a couple in there while we're at it. All of that is gonna boil in there for 90 minutes. I'm told these horse parts are from France, Japan, and Canada. Wow, such a multicultural group right there.
After boiling for a while, all the meats are moved to a pressure cooker for 10 minutes, with salt and MSG added to give the horse parts a flavor boost. Once the boiling is done, it heads into the oven for another 30 minutes to really lock in the flavor.
Let's see the final product. Oh my God. Ooh. Here we have our horse appendage plated in its final resting place. It looks... yeah, it looks gruesome. I don't know what to say. I'm not excited. Hold on, let me give it a little bit of a sniff. Good smell, he said. This thing right here costs $56. It's a bit pricey for a nightmare of a food experience. If we were showing this in a traditional Japanese film, we would have to do this to it. Ah, pixelation. So I'm gonna start with mid-shaft, I guess. This is a good time to click away from the video, but don't do it. Oh God, it's so gummy. This is a lot to handle. The only thing giving me comfort is knowing that in a second, I'm gonna turn the camera around and make the camera guy take a bite. Cheers. That tastes pretty good. It just tastes like kind of roast beef. I thought it was gonna have an intense smell or gamey aroma to it. It doesn't. What about this part? Huh, this thing has been braised so long in that pressure cooker, it has really broken down all the fat. It's become very tender. They could throw this inside a Mexican taco. You wouldn't really know what it was. You would think it's beef. Sure, there's some unusual textures. It's kind of like gooey, tendon, soft meat. You can just see the texture as I move it around. But in the end, it's pretty good. So I know what you're asking yourself. Since I generally enjoy this overall, am I gonna be willing to try the tip? The answer may surprise you. It's no. But my camera guy. I've got a small portion right here. Here, let me borrow that from you. How you feeling, Thomas?
Not so great anymore.
Stab it?
Have to eat the whole thing.
It's a one biter. Give it a shot. It's like braised beef. Imagine it's just braised beef. You want some sake?
That's good.
Go ahead.
Oh, so fatty.
Well done. That is an experience you can't undo. But today we have a lot more to see. Soon we're gonna be going to that first location again to try the completed bear paw. But now we're headed to our next location where we're gonna try something that's still alive. Let's move. We have come to our next location here, a place where you can actually go fishing for your food yourself. And then the food they turn that food into. It's wild. Let me show you how it works. First of all, we have a diagram right here. Step 1, buy a fishing rod, then go fishing, then do a dance of joy once you've caught a fish. From there, you pass the fish to a chef, then they cook it in any way you prefer, and finally, you eat the fish. Let me show you inside. Basically, it's a giant pool with a boat built on top of it. Then inside, you've got water that is full of fish. These are fish that you can catch yourself with a fishing rod if you would like. Along here, they have a load of different fish. They have horse mackerel, they have sea bream. As you keep going, they even have lobster. How are you gonna fish for a lobster? We are gonna be having a lobster later though. Right now, we're headed into the kitchen for a food known as dancing squid. We have our squid wrangler right here. We have our chef, and we have the star of the show right here. That is the squid. Step 1, remove the squid from its little prison. He takes a knife and he goes beneath the cap, cutting it off, removing it, turning the whole thing white. He puts a stick inside of it, puts it over some ice, and then he takes some soy sauce, he pours it on top, and that is our dancing squid. Oh man, that looks gnarly. Additionally, he gets some lemon to put on top. Can I say that was a pretty short-lived dancing career? Oh, hold on. We got a twitch. Meanwhile, over here we have the cap from the squid. The chef splits it in half, and that's like its organs and brain and digestive tract. All of it's in its head. He peels the skin from the main meat of the squid, leaving behind this beautiful, meaty, translucent layer. From here, he cuts the bony tendon from the cap. Ew, we don't want that. He lightly scores it, not cutting it all the way through. Whoa, then he chucks it at the cutting board, it curls up immediately. And from here, he really juliennes the squid, cutting it into thin pieces. He put the skin of the squid onto the serving dish, and then our squid cap sashimi going on next. Good? Good, thank you. Boom, squid right here. This is like the thin strips of sashimi. Let's give it a shot. Hit it with a little bit of soy sauce. Oh, that's good. It's a delightful texture. It's cold, it's very dense. It's really like squid, and that's about it. If you had this skin on there, I'm guessing it would feel a lot more slimy. Ugh. Am I supposed to eat this? You know, after the horse? Let's go for it. Hit it with a little bit of soy sauce, and I wish I had a beer. It's really crumpy. Oh my God, it's like chewing on snot. It's like if a booger had a skeleton. It's similar firmness to this part right here, except it's even more thin, except for it also has a slimy layer of skin on the outside of it. I kind of like this. So that is the dancing or seasoring squid. But from here, we're going back into the kitchen because they have one more live seafood that they want to show me. Round 2 requires one of these, a lobster. These are red spiny lobsters. Yeah, take a look at this bad boy. Lively, big. They've got huge legs. It's like the spider of the ocean, but with a tail too. This is what we're after right here, the sashimi that resides within the tail. But this isn't just about the sashimi, they're calling this live lobster. Let's go see how they do it. Step 1, he shivs the lobster. He goes under the shell, separates the tail, and rips the whole top of it off. Now that gets transported quickly over to here, and the head is put onto this decorative boat. Now he's got the tail, he takes his scissors to it, releasing that delicious succulent meat on the inside. He's cut it in half, and then he cuts it into smaller bits. That goes on to this beautiful decorative platter. A platter complete with a moving lobster head. Do you think the lobster is gonna be okay? I don't want it to hold a grudge. It looks mad. There you go. Sorry. Don't show that. Meanwhile, chopsticks. Right here we have that sashimi. Let's give it a shot. Cheers. Oh my God, it's so delicious. It's tender, it's a little fatty, there's no sinew, and it's a completely different experience to eating cooked lobster. One more bite. Thank you, lobster. You did good work. I'm not considering everyone's opinion in the room, but for me, absolutely delicious. So that is the live seafood portion of today. But from here, we're going back to the bear paw location to see if our food is finally done. Let's take a look. We are back in the kitchen. I am with Kushi-san, and he has finished doing his manicure on this bear paw. It looks terrifying. How do you say scary in Japanese? Kawaii.
Kawaii.
Guys, I don't oh, the nails even come off. Here, let me just put that back. There you go. So from here, we're gonna finish the cooking process. He is putting the paw into the pot, and that is gonna boil for about 15 minutes.
While the bear paw boils, the chef adds a mix of greens and vegetables, carrots, onions, bay leaves, leeks, celery, and garlic cloves to help eliminate any gamey flavors.
I guess the big question, what everyone's wondering is, why are people eating this?
Counter question, he's like, do not people abroad like eat bear paws?
Oh, wow. Well, you got me there. We do all the time. No, some people eat bear in the USA, but I would say it's pretty rare. They honestly would probably discard the paws.
Same as like China, some people eat it for good luck, good fortune. In addition, there's a lot of collagen, so a lot of people come eat it for like beauty reasons, like for the skin, etc.
After 30 minutes, the stove is turned off, allowing the pressure in the pot to naturally release until it's safe to open.
It's interesting saying that there's collagen, it's good for beauty, because there's no way women are eating this.
Actually, around like 60% of the people who come to his restaurant and eat the bear paw is actually women.
Amazing. Maybe this is just a sign of modern times. Women are getting into the crazy food too.
Next, he strains out the vegetables, leaving the stock behind. a portion of which is boiled separately to create a reduction. And here it is, the bear paw, after an entire day of boiling and preparing. In a separate pan, the paw is simmered with some bear stock while being basted with vinegar and honey. Once the bear paw turns light brown, it's left to rest. Meanwhile, the remaining rich brown stock from the pan is poured into the sauce reduction and boiled for a few more minutes until it becomes thick.
All right, guys, we have it right here. The final product, the fully cooked bear paw, and it's all due to this man right here, Kishi-san. Amazing work. Let's talk about money. This is one of the most prized parts of the bear's body. He did not have any paws laying around, and what he said is that I would have to buy 4 paws from a freshly hunted bear. How much did I pay for that? For 4 bear paws, it was over $1,000. Essentially, it's around $260 or $70 per foot. So maybe watch the video twice. Maybe go support our sponsors. I'm gonna build up a little bit of liquid courage before we get started here. Now this is sake in a jar. I'm not really sure how to have at this. Oh, there's some nice gooey bits right there. The bear has a bit of a gamey, a bit of a funk to it, but then there's astringent, sour, smelly balsamic vinegar. So you can see some of that has become very gummy and is falling off. Right here, I've got a little bit of the side of the paw. Cheers. Very gummy, super gelatinous. It's a funky tasting bear. If I'm gonna get any meat out of this thing, I gotta go to the palm. These are the pads, the toes, and then the pads on the bottom of the foot. That is gonna be super gelatinous. Let's try to get this. Oh, it's so gooey. So this seems to be a bit more meaty. This seems like legitimate protein. Let's give it a shot. Oh, wow. It's so spongy. It's like eating lungs. You bite and it bites back. That is the springy tissue that's meant to support the weight of a bear that weighs over 450 pounds. Of course, it's just gonna be padding. Struggling here, my guy. He's already moved on to his next project. Let's try this. This is the toe. That one's a little bit more like cow skin, just very thick skin that's been braised forever. It's fatty, it's gelatinous. Right now I feel so grateful that he mixed all these bear flavors with his strong balsamic vinegar, and it's very powerful, and it's offsetting any of that funkiness from the bear claw. This is something I feel like that could feed a group of people. First of all, it's super rich. This can't be a meal. There's no way someone's sitting down to eat a whole bear paw. This is an unbelievable tradition, a food that when I heard about it, I was very shocked to hear that it existed here in Japan. Today I set out with the goal of eating bear paw, and we found one and we cooked it, and by golly, I ate it up. What a treat. But from now, I'm gonna go outside and tell you which food I thought was the most shocking from today and which food I suggest you never try. Let's move. Today was a wild day. Inside, I told you I was gonna tell you which food was the most shocking to me, but also which food I think you shouldn't try. Can I be honest? It's the same food. It is the bear paw. Yes, I know I ate it, but I ate it for journalistic purposes. Basically, I ate the bear paw so you don't have to. I can't have it on my conscience that a bunch of tourists come to Japan and eat bear paw now. Don't do it. This was such a unique experience and something I'm probably never gonna experience again. Throughout the day, it is amazing to see how Japanese folks look at food differently from really the rest of the world. Whether it's seafood, whether it's unusual animals, or whether it's unique preparations of those foods. Before we go, I want to say a huge thank you to the company that made this video possible, byFood.com.
Traveling to Japan? Make your trip extra special with an omakase sushi dinner in Tokyo or a ramen cooking class in Osaka through byFood.com. With over 800 tours, classes, and experiences, and over 3,000 restaurants across Japan. Planning a delicious trip has never been easier. Whatever you're craving, you're sure to find it on byFood.com.
Otherwise, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. Bear paw. What animals have paws that I could eat next? Not dogs. Cats? No? No, I think I'm good. I think I'm all good on paws. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take a hard pause on paws for a while, couple years.